the Meeple Marathon. Today we're going to be taking a look at El Paso. So this is a new game in the Great Western Trail line. So from Alexander Pfister and Lookout Games. It's meant to be a more compact and quicker version of Great Western Trail. Still plays 1 to 4 players, has a different type of solo mode. The way I'm kind of thinking this is going to turn out, it's going to be a kind of Great Western Trail Lite. Possibly a good introduction into the series. It's obviously a much smaller box here and a much more reasonable price point. I think this was $25.99 on Asmodee. So let's take a look at what we got here. First things first, we have a cloth board. So this is interesting. This looks like it is going to need to be ironed. So definitely would have been better neoprene, and but it looks like if you iron this and then roll it up to store it, you're probably okay. Do something along the lines of like this, but I guess making it neoprene would have raised up the price point. I don't know why they didn't just make it a cardboard board, but there we go. So there's the board. As you can see, it's much smaller. Let's set this out here and we'll pull stuff out on top of it. We have a paper bag. I guess they're trying to reduce plastic here. Ooh, some very big, chunky cowboy meeples here. No hats this time. Just big, chunky cowboys. We have, seems like everything's on top of the rule book, which is interesting. More paper. All right, so we've got a whole bunch of these cards, then these, and then Sue. I know that Sue is the solo automa, so pretty kind of similar to how the automa works. For standard Great Western Trail, you simply move the character a number of spaces and then you do the action. Doesn't matter what kind of house they land on, so on and so forth. So there's those. I do know that the train setup in the game has something to do with putting these out and moving along the train one by one. I would have thought there would have been more train cards. And then we've got a whole bunch of these. So I think these are your workers. You don't have a standard player board like you do in Great Western Trail. I think you end up with a whole bunch of cards like this that you can then spend to take said actions. They also give you, looks like a little bonus. The wilds are going to give you 2 money. Let's see, he's going to give you 1 money. She's going to get you a certificate for 2 less, and the cowboy's going to allow you to advance 1 space. We got some more cards. There's got to be some cattle in here somewhere, so I'm assuming these are the cattle cards. Looks like it. The Simlental. I can never pronounce that correctly. Cemental. Anyways, this is what you're going to be building up your hand with and trying to have a nice, good variety. Heifer, Shorthorn, Quarantine, Black Angus, Piney Woods. A lot of these sound familiar. Galloway, yeah. St. Gertrudis, Criollo, and Criollo. So there you go. So we got the cattle cards. We have a little score sheet. Don't know what all these symbols mean yet, but we'll figure it out. These, I believe, are your player boards. So we got 4 of these. I mean, they're okay. They definitely were attempting to make a cheaper game here. And I get it. They're trying to create something they can put on Target shelves that people will consider purchasing. But I'm going to guess that you can take an action, and maybe these spots are going to be covered up with a disc or something. So you can unlock additional movement, additional hand size, infinity, certificate. What else we got here? Okay, interesting. We have our rule book here, so let's see what the rule book has to say. Player discs, exchange tokens, property markers. Am I missing these somewhere? I feel like I definitely don't have property. Oh, these are interesting. These are not cubes. They are cardboard. So that's interesting. So we'll take a look at those in a second. Building board, cattle board, 4 train cards, 20 objective tiles, neutral building tiles. Okay. Player setup, herder. All right. So there's the rule book. And then, yeah, we have some, instead of wooden discs, we have cardboard discs. Don't like that. Instead of some cubes, we have these. Cardboard money, that's what I would have expected. A cattle board, at least that's cardboard, not like cardstock. Exchange tokens. Okay, what do we got here? We got, all right, the worker board. Some of these, let's see these. These are definitely smaller and not nearly as thick as Great Western Trail. But again, I think that's what they're going here with this version of El Paso. So we shall see. I think one of the big differences is going to be easier to pick up and figure out and play. Not that I ever felt like it was a difficult game to pick up and play and learn, but I also play games often. So all right, there's all the cardboard. And then I have these things. I'm not quite sure what this is. So let me just see what this might be. I don't even know. Maybe they're little just holders. Did they give us like a storage solution? That might be what it is. So let's rip the thing off of here. I'm very curious as to what these are. Yes, actually, I think that's what these are. These are, looks like little boxes. Now see, they had the forethought and they spent the money to build these little things, which are cute. We'll see how well they function here in just a second. So they created these little boxes that you would like see on a train. Let's see how the exchange tokens fit in them here. We'll just punch these out real quick. Are you going to have to stack them up real neatly? Can you just drop them in like that? Looks like you will be able to drop them in. I think this is all of them right here. So this is a good test. That's not bad. You can easily just set that out and pull things out as you wish. So yeah, this is a nice touch. I like this. They still could have made these and had wooden tokens and wooden markers, actual 3D markers, instead of creating because look, there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Maybe this is why, because one of each color has a thing on it, but you could figure out a way to do that. Or the wooden discs. I feel like this is definitely a cost-saving function here. This feels very old-fashioned, I guess you could say. So yeah, but again, I believe their intentions were to create a less expensive kind kind of entry-level version of Great Western Trail. So we're going to give this one a shot. Obviously, we just unboxed it. So we'll be doing a how to play video. We'll give you a look at how it plays against Sue, and we'll just see whether it's worth it. Especially whether it's worth it if you already have Great Western Trail, or if you're looking to get into something like Great Western Trail that's one of these hybrid deck builders. Maybe this is one worth checking out. So stay tuned for future coverage on El Paso, a Great Western Trail Lite game. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Have a great day.